Please help support the channel by visiting our Amazon store, affiliate link below.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo, and you know, Harry Potter has been a very big staple in pop culture and entertainment over the course of the past, I want to say, 20 plus years, it feels like. I mean, we have Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald opening up in like 2 months, and it's the newest Harry Potter movie since the series began in 2001, and the book series was clearly set in the 1990s. I mean, after all, Harry Potter in literature is actually a year older than me, just about, which just goes to show you how long the series has been around. And the reason why I'm talking about it today is because with the final trailer that popped up yesterday, showing us a lot more action, a lot more story, and quite frankly, got me excited to see the movie, whereas I felt the first one was kind of not the best thing ever. This one looks to be kind of legit. And then, of course, we had a big reveal. And it's in the trailer, but the trailer is that one of Voldemort's Horcruxes, Nagini, which was in the Chamber of Secrets, introduced to us in Book 2, eliminated in Book 7, of course, during a heroic moment where Neville Longbottom beheaded the snake. We find out that Nagini is actually a woman, and she's a shapeshifter, one that turns into snakes. We learn this in the Fantastic Beasts trailer, which gives a whole new dynamic to that character, kind of taking everything that we've known about Nagini for the past 20 years, and leading in from her introduction in the Chamber of Secrets to her death in the Deathly Hallows, and kind of just turning it on its ear. And quite frankly, I found it to be a very interesting approach, considering the fact that Voldemort had to tie a death or part of his soul to Nagini, probably therefore trapping her in permanent basilisk form. Again, I'm not the biggest Harry Potter nerd. I do enjoy it quite a bit, I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited to see this one, but what I find to be funny are the culture warriors that come out and are now calling it problematic, like our good friends here at the Mary Sue, which has an article titled "Fantastic Beasts 2 Reveal About Nagini Has Some Unfortunate Implications," because God forbid you fucking like something. God forbid you give a character some depth. You give a character a tragic backstory. We can already see where this is going, folks. There's no denying where this is going. We already know it. This is already something that has been played out time and time and time again. It's one of the problems I have with the left, and even discussing the left, is that you already know the playbook, but it's still gotta go and look at the individual moves, right? So it says here that it was revealed today in the latest Fantastic Beasts trailer that Claudia Kim in the upcoming Fantastic Beasts The Crimes of Grindelwald is playing none other than Voldemort's future Harry Potter series pet snake / Horcrux, Nagini. Kim has not been able to speak on the issue for a year because this completely changes the way we know the character. In an interview with EW, Kim says it will be so interesting to see the other side of Nagini. You've only seen her as a Horcrux. In this, she's a wonderful and vulnerable woman who wants to live. She wants to stay a human being, and I think that's a wonderful contrast to the character. Well, truth be told, that's just, that's something she now knows more about than we do. Because this is a secret that's been sitting on apparently for 20 years. And as a result of that, it's going to give us some depth to Nagini and maybe make her death far more tragic, right? The way I'm kind of viewing it, just kind of going at it now, is the fact that she wants to live. She wants to experience life as a human, to always stay as a human. And she ends up being trapped for Christ, like 80 years or so, or maybe not 80 years, but definitely a long ass time, as a snake, as a basilisk, trapped underneath Hogwarts, hidden away from the world, destined to be alone and to be a pawn in Voldemort's grand scheme. And to me, that is supremely tragic. And it's interesting. It actually makes it more interesting because now we get to have that backstory. And some might argue that it's kind of a lame attempt at creating a character, but because we all know how J.K. Rowling likes to retcon stuff. We all know that. But that being said, I still find this to be fascinating. Now, according to the expanded universe, Nagini can transform from a human into a snake at will, and yet due to her mysterious blood curse, she knows that eventually she'll become a snake permanently, which is why she will eventually be the serpent who helps Voldemort gain strength and become his constant companion. J.K. Rowling said on Twitter that she'd been keeping the secret for 20 years, and that Nagini is a human named Maledictus. not an or is a human maledictus, not an animagus. If I could speak these words today. The difference is that maledictus is a female individual whose blood was cursed from birth, eventually leading them to turning into a beast. The curse is passed down from mother to daughter, and being an animagus is a learned non-gendered skill. So this kind of blood curse is one that is directly aimed at women. I'm just going to make the joke. It's like the HPV of wizarding diseases. What? If it only affects women, don't give me shit over that one. It's funny and you know it. You laughed. If you laughed, toss it a like. Anyway, so in the books, it's been said that Voldemort-Nagini relationship is unusually close, even for someone like Voldemort who can talk to and control snakes. Dumbledore told Harry that I think this is that he is perhaps fond of her as he can be of anything. He certainly likes to keep her close and has an unusual amount of control over her, even for a Parselmouth. Nagini has been considered the only living thing he ever cared about, and knowing about her human side casts a totally different light on their relationship, which again, okay, maybe I was a little bit wrong in my assumption, my speculation before jumping into this about, you know, her being used by him, but I still think it's a sociopathic relationship. Right? Definitely a toxic, problematic relationship. Yes, I'm using those words because I think they apply here, but they apply to the characters and the characters' actions. So if Voldemort meets Nagini and he knows what's going to happen to her, eventually she's going to be the snake, and he grows to care about her, he probably also manipulates her into not wanting to seek out what she feels is best for her, which would be, in fact, her wanting to be human, her wanting to stay human, because that's what she said in that interview. And so, as of course, the way that Voldemort's going to approach it is, what can he get out of her? He'll still care about her, but it's not going to be a love. It's not going to be a love like Harry's mom, like Lily had for Harry, right? It's not going to be that type of love. It's going to be one that's definitely, what can I get out of you? I still care about you, but I ultimately need this. Think Thanos and Gamora, right? Like that whole scene from Avengers Infinity War. Like, you know that he cares about her more than anything in this universe. You know that. And he does not want to do what he has to do in order to see his goals come to fruition, but he does it anyway. And I think we're going to see a fair amount of that here. Now, it says here, now this means at best Voldemort was in love or had feelings for a woman turned snake, and he was her only mode of human contact that could understand her. At worst, and what is fundamentally kind of squicky, okay, about this whole thing, is that Voldemort was keeping a woman of color as a pet. There we go. There we got it right there. Right there we have it right there. The autonomy of the character means nothing. Her actions, her motivations, her desires, her dreams, her goals, anything means nothing to the author of this article. And this is not just the first article I've seen. I've seen others that have popped up, because now they're running on the problematic narrative, and they've been trying to torpedo this movie for a while. First it was, why was Johnny Depp cast into the movie? And then of course now we're looking at this, because they can't just take anything and have fun. Remember, when it comes to social justice warriors, quite literally, friends, no fun is allowed. It says here, the reveal seems very Anakin built C-3PO. But I'm not sure exactly what it will add to the world of Harry Potter for us to know that Nagini was a person, unless we're going to examine the fact that Neville Longbottom killed someone, along with implications that Nagini being turned into it and an object of a white man's use, especially since her role in Crimes of Grindelwald apparently is to feel bad and support another sad white boy in Credence Barebone. Kim, who describes as being one who encourages the use of her power. So again, they're just like, oh, she's going to be fridged, or she's going to be boxed. They're going to throw whatever trope they can think of, whatever word, whatever buzz phrase they can think of, as a way to try to distract away from the fact that this character might be multi-layered, might be played, might be in the situation where her hopes and her desires and her dreams are circumvented by a manipulative sociopath, right? That could be Grindelwald, and then ultimately Voldemort. So it shows you that there could be all these problems there, and humans are flawed. Humans make bad decisions. Humans screw up. Humans make mistakes, and those are going to be explored through telling of their stories. In this case, fictional, obviously. But you have to love it that instead of trying to look at it from the perspective of what kind of story about Nagini will we get, how will we grow to understand, like, sympathize, empathize, and maybe grow to care about the character. Therefore, like, looking at the end in the Deathly Hallows Part 2, where it is tragic, right? Where it is a tragic end. No, let's immediately just say, oh, she's a woman of color. She's a woman of color. She's been cast aside to cater to white men's needs. Okay? Okay, pound me too. Pound me too. It's what it feels like. It's so ridiculous. I really don't like this kind of crap. It's just, and then it finishes up here by saying, this is Rowling's world, and she's allowed to expand upon it however she wants. But this feels like the second coming of native culture appropriation in Pottermore. When she explored the American magical school, Livermore. Yes, we have a new woman of color in the universe in Harry Potter who is destined to lose control and turn into a serpent forever and become the tool of the most powerful white wizards of all time. Also, she must have been in her 70s when she died. And just a reminder, this is only the movie 2 of a 5-film story arc that the series has planned. So there are more retcons to come. And they obviously are complaining about that because that's just kind of what they do. That is how they are. That is what they what's the word I want to use here? Aspire to be and everything like that. Look, here's the way that I see it. Giving us more about Nagini than just being a basilisk is interesting because it shows you, for one, how far Voldemort will go to get what he wants, who he'll use when the time comes, how he'll use them, how maybe there is some type of weird dynamic between him and those. Like, was there a dynamic between him and Peter Pettigrew? Pettigrew, who was like his right-hand man, and like Rat Tail. I mean, like all the, like that character, like, did he care about him at all, or did he just use him? Was he able to manipulate these people as a way to get what he wants by acting like he did care for them and making them feel that? I mean, he was able to amass the Death Eaters. He was able to bring together this army that almost destroyed the wizarding world twice. And it was destroyed twice. But he still was able to get the people together. So that's my question, is like, what is it we're going to learn more about him that's going to basically make him the badass that we've come to know? And I'm okay with these types of stories going through and having these discussions, showing us more about these characters. It kind of comes out of left field. I do feel like they should have probably saved that particular reveal for the trailer or for the movie rather than have it in the trailer. That way people can kind of go, oh, snap, instead of like watching the trailer and then problematic articles. Yeah, I'm using the word against you there, Mary Sue. Like the Mary Sue come out. That's kind of how I feel. But ultimately, the Nagini revelation to me makes the story more interesting because it takes us to a human level, a human moment in this character's life, and getting to understand more about them, which then ultimately makes their ending far more tragic. And not everything has to have a happy ending. Not everything has to have a good, all wrapped up, neat and tight with a bow on top ending. But it's good to get more backstory, and it's good to see that there, I don't want to say good to see suffering, but we will see suffering. And the suffering, I think, it kind of amplifies the ending more, right? Like when we get to the end of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, when we get to the end of that series and the battle has been fought and the war has been won, Voldemort is dead, we now go back and we now look at what brought him to that point, at least what helped him get there. Same with Grindelwald and Dumbledore and their relationship. And we get all of these new things that I think are going to help really kind of beef out this world. And I know there's going to be SJW aspects of it with how J.K. Rowling is, and obviously, obviously she's not woke enough for people like the Mary Sue and a lot of other articles. But it's ridiculous. Anyway, those are my thoughts on this one. I am curious to know what you guys have to say about this. Let me know down in the comments. If you guys made it this far, please type snake into the chat so I know. I love that you guys have been doing that. It really, really, really is awesome that you guys make it this far and you guys are engaging. I love that. If you want to support the channel, Amazon.com/shop/Mundane Matt is a great way to help out, or Patreon is another great way to help out, or just, subscribe and keep coming back daily for more content. I will talk to you guys later. Have yourself a fantastic day and peace out.